Hey there. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. How are you doing? Are you well? I can honestly answer that conversation this week that I am so well. You know, one of those weeks that you have that you're like, this is what adulting was all about when you were being told as a kid, when you dreamed of the Pee Wee Herman lifestyle that you were going to be leading, right? Think about, like, it's the kind of week that you're imagining. You know, this is what we work so hard for, just in life. Like, forget the cancer, forget that it's more meaningful right now, because it's this week. You know, we've been talking a lot about kind of my mental gymnastics of how to continue shitting rainbows with a terminal diagnosis. I think about that, as you know, when I grieve my future, I grieve, you know, what it is that I'm about to lose. I've been playing this game where I imagine that anything that's happening to me now, like having chemo brain, not being able to think of a word or where I'm at or who I'm at, like having chemo brain is kind of like having dementia or Alzheimer's, right? So instead of being overwhelmed by the fact that I have very little short-term memory and I have all of these things happening to my body, I'm trying to tie them to shitting rainbows. Oh my God, I'm forgetting words. That's actually what someone experiences when they get old. And I'm not going to have that experience because I'm not going to grow old. So, yay, it's happening now, right? That's where we've been for the last couple of weeks. Well, this week was just so, first of all, as you know, I've been really struggling for the last 2 months. I was hospitalized 2 months ago, and it was really, really scary. My wife was not sure she was going to bring me home. And so to physically come back from that, and this week, I've been able to stand up and take my dog for a walk, or cook my wife dinner, or just doing things where I'm not, this week I didn't have to check myself, right? And to see the relief on my wife's face is so nice, because she's been so worried because I've been so weak, and this has just been rough. So that's been amazing, right? Getting stronger every day. Still trying to figure out the dizziness that we talked about last time. I feel like it is connected to my blood pressure, but only blood pressure when you're sitting up and then sitting and standing. I don't know. I have a cardio appointment this week. I'm getting my ears checked. I'm continuing down the search, but for right now, it is still happening. Not necessarily like the continual vertigo experiences, though, which is really nice. It's a little easier to like reset yourself when you're just dizzy. Also, I thought was really interesting, one of the questions that the doctor asked me that I've never thought about before is, she was asking me when I was dizzy to determine like dizziness versus vertigo versus something else, you know, whatever your balance. And she was saying that, she was asking me, are you dizzy? Do you feel dizzy? Or is the room dizzy? And I had to think about that for a minute, because I don't know if I've ever differentiated that. And now this week, that's what I've been trying to do, is I've been trying to figure out, wait, am I spinning, or is the room spinning? So, oh well, such fun things that we get to learn in our journey of trying to stay alive with cancer. Anyways, physically I'm doing well. My wife and I have been able to play the game a couple of times. Just this morning, we went and did some fun things and played the game of like, we don't have cancer for the next 3 hours. Nothing cancer. So it's been nice. That has been a long time since we've been able to do that, because when you're physically struggling with treatment or cancer, you can't just pretend you don't have cancer. You can't just be like, I'm going to have toxic positivity and pretend everything is fine and move on with life. So happy for that. And the rest of the week was just so sweet because I was in Chicago for treatment, but coming out of Chicago, the end of the week, this also goes to not just shitting rainbows, but keeping the attitude that adaptability is my superpower, right? We talk about this all the time, that you just have to be adaptable in life. It just makes it so much easier. This past weekend, originally I had planned, my youngest nephew, my sister's youngest son, is going to college. He's, as you know, both of my nephews, but not just my nephews. I have two nephews by my sister. I have two nephews by my brother and sister-in-law. And then I have a whole assortment of children that I'm an auntie to from my chosen family. It's, one of the things I do when my sister had children, when my brother-in-law had children, and when or my brother and sister-in-law, sorry, Katie, when my friends of my chosen family have children, one of the things that I do is I wait till that child is a year old, and when they're a year old, I start a pen pal relationship with them. So I send postcards and cards at every holiday season, and just it's really fun. Some of the kids write back, and I've created this multi-year penship with them, and some don't, but they accept the cards. It's really fun. So for me to be an auntie is amazing. And this past weekend, my youngest nephew of my sister went to his first weekend at college. And with a perfect world, I had dreamt about going with my sister. I was so excited. I wanted to go with my sister and celebrate with my sister. My sister is a single mom of two boys, a year apart. I mean, I remember when I tell this story all the time, when they first started both being mobile, and I was in the middle of a mall and my sister just laughing at me, but I had both of those boys and one of them got free and he just looked at me and he was like, ha ha, and he ran that way. And the other one looked at me and said, ha ha, pulled himself apart and ran that way. Like, the fact that she has done an amazing job with these kids is just it's just so awesome. And I really had hoped to be able to go with her, to be able to go with my nephew, of course, and then also my dad's wife. We just call her Grandma Xiaolan. She has been part of our family for the last 30 years, and my nephew wanted his auntie and his grandma to go to drop him off at college, and so it was really exciting thinking about it. But unfortunately, cancer came into play. I've been too weak to be able to do it, and also, unfortunately, my treatment schedule got changed, so I had to be sitting in a chemo room the day that they were driving to go to his college. However, again, this goes to shitting rainbows. Adaptability is our superpower. My sister is absolutely amazing. Xiaolan is absolutely amazing. My nephew is amazing. They had me on FaceTime and video lots of pictures, like the entire weekend. So it was so awesome. I got to participate and I got to be here. Do you remember when I was diagnosed? That kid was just entering high school, and I didn't think I was going to be able to. I still wanted to be part of his growing up, and these last 4 years, when I met those kids, when I met all the kids, I made a promise when I met them that I was going to be the greatest auntie in the world, that I was going to provide them with unconditional love and support. I would be the one that they called when they got arrested. I would be the one that they called when they fucked up. I wouldn't, we'd talk about it later, but, and my nephew has given me the gift of himself over the last 4 years, because I've got to go through high school with him, and you talk about his girlfriends with him, and lots of major moments in his life, which is just great. And this fall in October, because I want to see the fall colors of the Northeast before I die, I'm going to make it happen, and he is going to school in the Adirondacks, so I'm going to be able to get to see him. But the fact that I'm still here, I didn't think I was going to be able to see him go to high school, and here he is going to college. And it was such a big weekend. My sister and I were trying to manage this weekend, because also my eldest nephew, and he's the eldest out of all the kids, his name is Thomas, and Thomas is autistic. He is 19 years old, and he graduated high school last year. If you remember, I was so excited. I got to see him graduate, and then I got to see my youngest one graduate. Well, this kid, for his graduation, he has been fascinated with dinosaurs since he was born. And for his graduation, the only thing that he wanted to go to Utah to see the dinosaurs. Okay, great. Well, my sister has 2 bad hips, 2 bad knees. She can't do stuff like that with him. So usually I'm the one that does it, right? I'm like, okay, I got you. Couldn't quite do it yet this year, but it was gonna happen this fall. I'm taking you to Utah. Well, all of a sudden, there's this thing called Pokemon Go Fest. If you know anyone that's into Pokemon, it's this kid has been into it for the last 2 years. It has superseded dinosaurs. It's amazing. But he comes to me the last time I was home to visit for my nephew's graduation, and he says, "Yeah, Nicole, there's this thing happening in New York City, and I would be amazing if I would be able to go. Are you free that weekend?" Unfortunately, I wasn't free. And so he starts chatting with me about, will you help me to figure out how to do a budget for a trip? Because I want to plan the trip, and then I'm going to present it to Mom and see if we can make this happen. Okay, so we started, I got to budget with him and learn what that meant and plan this whole trip with him. And ultimately, at the end, what is so cool about this is it took us months to figure out, because he does need support. And so, again, this was the weekend that my youngest nephew is going to college. So that supersedes everything, right? So he's going to go to college for sure. My sister's going to take him. I'm in treatment. What do we do? I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to figure this weekend out, because this kid, he told me he would choose to give up dinosaurs with Auntie Nicole for this weekend to happen. So this is a big weekend. This has got to happen, right? Ultimately, at the end, we did everything to figure out. My wife and I got him a hotel in New York City. I told him I would hire someone to go with him, but instead he figured out a friend that's just a slightly elder gentleman with autism. That these two figured out how to find the train, how to get to the train, how to get to New York City, how to get to their hotel, how to spend 3 days at this festival. I mean, this kid, I have never seen him so proud, so happy. He navigated himself. He navigated himself from Delaware to New York City Like, this was a nonverbal kid when he was little. Like, this is amazing. This is awesome. And I can't believe that I got to, not only I got to create that for him, I got to see that. Like, wow, this is, like, I said, man, this week has just been the bomb. It's been awesome. Every anxiety attack and every freaking conversation that I have to have with myself when I walk into that hospital to check myself in for these just barbaric freaking treatments. Oh, in this moment, in this week, well worth it. Worth every horrific thing that I have gone through to make it, to get to here. It's just been great. It's been great. It's been great to be part of that for my sister. You know, drop her one kid off to college, and by the way, my nephew Thomas is in community college. She got her kid to community college. Like, this is just, yeah. And I'm back in Jackson. Feeling pretty decent. So this week is going to be a wonderful week where hopefully my wife and I get to play a lot of pretend there's no cancer, and we get to just enjoy each other, because this has been a rough last 2 months. All right, well, I'm gonna go cook my wife dinner because I can. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will chat with you next Sunday. Okay. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end. We're actually going back in time. I have not left Chicago yet. I'm just about to go back to Jackson now. But I wanted to take you for a walk through my park at the end of the street. Since I've been in Jackson this entire summer, or hospitalized when I've been here, I haven't been able to explore it. So wait till you see. It's incredible. Let's go.